Remember, folks, I'm just a Muppet in a chair. Don't take me seriously. Hello, Boomerites. What's going on? It's good to see you. Welcome back to the channel. And I'm going to be trying something new today. This is Yes, Prime Minister. And this was sent in by 452B. Is that a code or a name? But anyway, thank you, 452. And it's called Diplomacy is About Surviving Until the Next Century. I recently did, I think a couple months ago on Patreon, I watched, why is the name escaping me? I just watched, The Madness of King George. Nigel Hawthorne and his wonderful performance. A very good actor. I don't think he's still around, so rest in peace. But once I did that, that was me, by the way. That was my thing. Once I reacted to that, I got quite a few suggestions saying, hey, you should check out Yes, Prime Minister. And I believe it's a political comedy of sorts. So let's check this out. And since I've done the day-to-day, I think this is going to be kind of a throwback political comedy. And it definitely looks like this is Nigel Hawthorne in the thumbnail here. So this should be pretty interesting. And hopefully it's pretty good. So let's check this out. First time. And like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want. And here we go. Let's see if this is any good. Here we go.
Yes, Bernard.
Sir Humphrey.
Yes, Bernard.
I wondered if I could have a word
Yes, Bernard.
with both of you.
Yes, what about?
St. George's.
What now?
Well, the PM seems to be completely in the dark.
Good. Excellent. Anything else?
Well, I wondered if there was anything he doesn't know.
Well, I hardly know where to begin, Bernard.
No, I mean anything important.
Well, he has the Foreign Secretary to tell him.
Yes, I know, sir, but he seems to think the Foreign Secretary doesn't know the whole story either.
I should hope not.
Bernard, are you implying that the Prime Minister ought to know what's happening?
Well, he is the Prime Minister.
Yes, Bernard, but it's simply too dangerous to let politicians become involved with diplomacy.
Diplomacy is about surviving until the next century. Politics is about surviving until Friday afternoon.
157 independent countries in the world. We've dealt with them for years. There's hardly an MP who knows anything about any of them.
Show them a map of the world. Most of them have a job finding the Isle of Wight.
Surely politicians can't be that ignorant.
Yes, they sure can. The first minute in, I feel like they're talking about the president. Maybe the president and the prime minister have similar restrictions put on them by who knows. Anyway.
Well, sit down, Bernard. Where is the Upper Volta?
What's the capital of Chad?
What language do they speak in Mali?
Who's the president of Peru?
What is the national religion of Cameroon?
Bernard? You should stand for Parliament.
No, what I mean is, if it's a democracy, shouldn't people sort of discuss things a bit?
Oh, of course, full discussion.
And shouldn't they have the facts?
Of course not. They don't want them. Facts complicate things. All that the press, the people and their elected leaders want to know is who are the goodies and who are the baddies.
The problem is that the interests of Britain nearly always involve doing deals with people that the public think are the baddies.
And not helping the goodies occasionally when it doesn't help us.
So we avoid discussion of foreign affairs. Or rather, we keep all discussion inside the Foreign Office. Then we produce one policy for the Foreign Secretary, which represents our considered view. And he can act upon it.
No options?
No.
No alternatives?
No.
What if he's not satisfied?
Well, if pressed, we look at it again.
And come up with a different view?
Of course not. We come up with the same view.
But what if he demands option?
Well, it's obvious, Bernard. The Foreign Office will happily present him with 3 options, 2 of which are, on close inspection, exactly the same.
And plus a third, which is totally unacceptable.
Like bombing Warsaw or invading France.
Better still, we occasionally encourage the Foreign Secretary to produce his own policy. Then we tell him that it will inevitably lead to World War III, perhaps within 48 hours.
I see. I'm sorry to appear stupid, but...
Oh, Perish the thought, Bernard.
Yeah, this is really good. I'm really liking it. Only 3 minutes in. Yeah, this is really good. Although there's part of it is sparking outrage for me because I feel like they're describing American politics as well, where they basically control everybody who's in office and don't let them get too, if you'll excuse me borrowing a term, get too cheeky.
But in my experience, ministers are somewhat concerned about the effect of policy on domestic political opinion. Now, our system doesn't seem to allow for that.
Of course not. We take the global view. We ask what's best for the world.
Well, most ministers would rather you asked, what's the Daily Mail leader going to say?
Oh, Bernard, we can't have foreign policy made by yobbos like Fleet Street editors or backbench MPs.
Or cabinet ministers.
Or cabinet ministers. We take the right decisions and let them sort out the politics later. Yes?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, come in, Mrs. Whitmore. Thank you.
And if the Foreign Secretary still won't accept the Foreign Office view...
Well, it's a free country, you can always resign.
How can you treat the Prime Minister like this? Surely he's right to worry about St. George's. After all, it is a democracy.
Not for long. This is a flash telegram. The East Yemen are preparing to invade in support of the Marxist guerrillas.
Well, that's awful.
Yes and no. It's moderately bad news for the government of St. George's, but it's very good news for the guerrillas.
What about the islanders?
Bernard, you're reacting like a politician.
I'm sorry, but what are we going to do to help them?
Nothing.
But what if St. George's appeals to us?
Well, we give them every support, short of help.
The Prime Minister insists we help them.
Then we follow the four-stage strategy.
What's that?
A standard Foreign Office response in a time of crisis. In stage one, we say nothing is going to happen.
Stage two, we say something may be going to happen, but we should do nothing about it.
In stage three, we say that maybe we should do something about it, but there's nothing we can do.
Stage four, we say maybe there was something we could have done, but it's too late now.
Yo, I like that a lot. That was very good. Wow. I feel like that little sketch there is very applicable to today's politics. And I like the dynamic because the one guy's coming in and he's like, well, isn't this how this works? And then, or how it should work? And the two guys are just like, let me tell you how it really works. Good stuff. The guy who is next to Nigel Hawthorne, what is his name? I feel like I've seen him on something before. Could be wrong though, but he looks and sounds familiar. So, might have seen him in an old movie or something. But he looks very familiar. But I like how Nigel Hawthorne was like teasing, like, "Oh, you should be a politician." Good stuff. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. Let me see. Oh, so I got a prompt here up in the right hand. So it's 4 seasons, and it's a British comedy made in 1984. Okay. I have had requests to do it even before I watched Nigel Hawthorne in The Madness of King George, which was pretty good. I have had requests for doing reactions to Yes Minister before, but I don't feel like it was a heavily requested show. But I enjoyed that. I feel like I'm missing political comedy now that the Day-to-Day is over, which was great. I love the Day-to-Day. But maybe down the road we can do Yes Minister at some point. I got to get around to all these shows. I don't know when. I'm going to be an old man with gray hair by the time I get around to seeing everything. It's wild. There's so many good shows in the UK. It's never ending. You guys should be proud. Anyway, I'll stop talking now, but I did enjoy that. Anyway, thank you 452 for sending that in. Like, subscribe, do whatever you guys want, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.